Welcome back to Yeti, episode 88. We're still at the Vuelta España, into the later stages now. Stage 15 has just simulated with Hagland getting a top 10 and only losing a handful of seconds. So 16 seconds lost for an 8th place finish on the stage. That should definitely help his GC situation, as it does. It maintains his sixth place. Sivakov lost a little bit of time on this one, dropping him off the podium with Skjelmoza, moving up into 3rd place. Just 1 second separating Volter and Van Wilder at this stage. But we also have just 9 seconds separating us from Jorgensen. Ben O'Connor also still just half a minute down. They each followed me across the line with a 9th and 10th place, not losing any time. But there are others, including Sivakov. There are others who did lose time just behind us, and the gap has definitely opened up. Now 8 minutes, so almost 4 minutes ahead of Hagland. Right now, we're looking pretty solid for either 6th to 8th place. 16 again headed to a mountaintop finish. It looks like the breakaway might have held on to a slender advantage to take this one, as none of these guys were in any sort of contention. Almeida does get about 20 seconds of separation from the bulk of the field. O'Connor is amongst that group, and Hagland comes in that little bit further back, nearly 20 seconds behind that. So 18 seconds of time losses to some of the other contenders, but there's one glaring omission name-wise from there. So we might be taking a step down, but we might also just be hanging on to 6th. It is just hanging on to 6th, so we are now 18 seconds ahead of O'Connor. Almeida moves up to 8th at 9:11 down, but we're seeing a big drop in certain places behind us. Balderstone now moves on to the podium with Skjelmoza and Sivakov dropping down. So Sivakov, 2 straight stages where he's lost a bit of time. We're still a bit too far down on Sivakov, though, at 1:41. But now with just that few stages left, we're finding ourselves in a battle for 6th or 7th, with a tiny chance to move ahead if one of these guys can. Sivakov clearly is struggling right now. I mean, he's lost 2-3 minutes in the last 2 stages. Shaw is definitely too far down in the points classification. We are not in competition for the mountain. We are comfortable in the under 25, 7 minutes ahead of the only close chaser. And we're still 19th as a team. Simple sprint on 17, and Shaw gets 6th place on his own. It's stage 18. This is my kind of stage. This is the kind of stage that I tend to fare better, get a little bit more in results. But race day condition for the team's not looking great. We've got a -9 for one group, +4 for another group, so overall net -5, which is only, like a -1, -2 over expected. We got a few guys. It's stage 18. We got a few guys that are now fatigued and have expected -1s, plus the combination of the bad weather today. Almeida with a puncture. This is the key moment here of this stage, where you can see your race fall apart. So you don't want to get dropped here. Harrison on a -5 though. Vasilevsky. And I guess Shaw, really, all 3 domestiques need to be assigned their gels. 5K from the top already, 6.5K overall for the climb at 7.7%. And we're seeing an attack by Champoussin. Not a threat having him go away. And as he's attacking at this stage, he's going to be solo. By the way, the breakaway, just 6 riders today, never had more than a 5-minute advantage, and it was already down to 2.5 here at the base of the climb. So the front guys have pulled out a little bit more at 3 minutes, but with 46K and that front group splitting up, right now it's not looking like they're going to be very threatening. Now, the more riders I have, though, make it over the top, the better the chances of us being able to do something today. And right now it's looking like I might be down to 4 riders by the time we reach the top, so that's going to make it a little bit tougher to try to do something. But realistically, we're looking at a profile here at the tail end that's 2 hills, back to back. You're not seeing the second hill in the blown up, but you know, in the smaller mini map you can definitely see it, and that's going to be the key. It's a good little hill, and actually we're gonna hit it twice. No, it's a different hill, never mind. But we are going to hit a similar kind of profile in reverse for this next one, as we have crested, and we are down to 4 guys. Heart rate's not low, so these guys are not getting much recovery in, so let's make sure. I was going to let Panamar recover more, but as Haglund wasn't recovering, I needed to get the protection so his heart rate would drop a little bit quicker. So Panamar, that's going to mean I'll have 3 at best when we go to begin that final climb. And of course today we're definitely riding for Haglund, not only for his GC hopes, but for any hope of a stage victory. This is probably the last chance that we realistically have. Down to 3 riders off the front. Lipovitz is coming back. He'll be caught soon. It's Tarling. It's Winter. Winter's 12th overall. Tarling just has really good stamina and was able to hang on. Panamar nearly out of energy as we hit the little saddle. This is the double climb. This will then set us up for the final 2 climbs. If Panamar, no, Panamar is not still going to be around, so let's go ahead and protect with Lind. Try to protect G, I suppose, and Gel. We're going to be on the flat for a little bit. Minute 25, minute 20, so yeah, we're catching those 2 pretty quickly. Haglund, what you doing here? 23k left. 115 left in the peloton. Just a minute to those last 2.
The pack's deficit is being cut back.
Gel for Lind. We're definitely setting a good tempo. It's really hard to get any amount of recovery right now, so there's going to be a lot of guys. Yeah, see, we are starting to shrink in size. 112 now. This is one of those finishing sequences where you could see guys losing time because riders are slowly but surely dropping out. Could be, you know, right at their end, like Lynn Panamar, because this was definitely not a recovery phase. There's Winter. There's Tarling. It's all back together, so the winner will be here, but Haglund again is not looking great, and here's a big acceleration with 15k. Yeah, they are attacking. Lind, this is going to be it for you, but we'll get G to follow, and then Haglund, Gel for G. This is happening earlier than I wanted. I wanted to wait for that final climb and be able to push on, and that's no longer going to happen. But the good news here is this is what's really going to split this field up, because a lot of the guys are not going to be able to handle the tempo. This first climb is not where we want to expend all the energy, though. We want to set it for the second one. G just about setting enough of a pace here. I'm trying to get him at least over the first climb and onto the base of the final climb before he's completely spent, but he's about to crest. He's about to crest. Just don't drop, don't drop, don't drop. Please don't drop, please don't drop. Okay, he's okay. He lost 2 bike links. 2 bike links there, so he is giving Haglund that little bit more of a setup. Final 8k. Down to 108. And G sets up Haglund well. Okay, G's done. On to Haglund. I am going to ride. Force those behind to follow. You're not following for a change. 5k. Of course, I'm also not attacking right now. 4.5k. Sprinting. Separated. Continuing on. Medium mountain pace. 13 seconds ahead. Now pushing over the top. 10 seconds ahead. Now just 65 riders following. 2K. Okay, we gotta ease off a little bit. Ease off a little bit. Final kilometer. To the finish line. Can we hang on? They are coming. They're coming fast. They're coming fast. They are really coming fast. But Haglund hangs on. Haglund hangs on. He's got the stage victory. Cosnefroy comes in second. Van Wilder third. That was the late move. I love those little moves late. Can't do it on the flat in this game. Not on this difficulty level. But on those little hills, those little sequences like that, you can get that little bit of separation. It's just, can you hang on? And we got that little bit of separation. That last ounce of energy got us over the line. I'm glad I stopped the sprint and just kind of set tempo, because if we continued the sprint, he would have faded earlier. He would have been a bike length further forward, maybe 2 bike lengths further forward with the continued sprint. But then he would have bonked out before the finish line and lost a lot more than the 2 bike lengths. So that was a good change it up there situation. And we get to snowball in La Vuelta. We get to snowball in all 3 Grand Tours. Happy for that one. There are 10 Pop 6 nations left this season. 2 nations have moved up to Pop 7. And we've, of course, already collected 1 Pop 6 nation. This is now our 4th Grand Tour stage victory of the season. 2 at the Tour de France and 1 each for the Giro and La Vuelta. Let's go ahead and spin. The spin is on. What's it going to be? Ireland maybe, or Poland? It's going to be Ireland. Ireland is definitely a good option. Good sprinters generally out of Ireland. We'll see what we have to work with from that one. It's a little late in the year for any new signings, but for next year. Separation came after Almeida in 32nd. 40 seconds is those who were separated. Moss among them. We know he was up there in the GC here recently. But no separation otherwise, so it's probably not going to have much of an impact other than our 10-second time bonus. Van Wilder has overtaken Walter, though, because he got 3rd place. He picked up a 4-second time bonus, enough to take the jersey. Balderstone, Skjelmoza, Sevikov, all unchanged. Haglund, that little bit further ahead with the 10-second time bonus. Almeida just hung on, and there is Moss in 9th at 11 minutes behind. He lost a little bit more time. So did Yates. So we pull further away from those guys. Vinter lost the time because he was in the breakaway. He slips down a little bit further. Those gaps behind are more and more secure with just a few stages to go. Realistically, Sevikov probably unreachable, but not necessarily, especially if he or Skjelmoza really blow up. Depending on what's left in these last 3 stages. And O'Connor very much could still beat us, but we're looking at a decent 6th or 7th place. A good 6th or 7th place, especially without any big bonuses. Just kind of pure Haglund. He got a +2 on that stage, which was only a +1 draw. That was the best race day condition he's had the whole race, and it got a race victory. 19 on the surface is not looking good, but we're also only 37 seconds back to 20th position. Van Wilder, Balderstone at the top here. No sign of Ben O'Connor, the one we're obviously watching out for, so we might be okay. Sevikov comes in at 37, so we're not gaining on him. 47 now. Still no sign. 58. There's Haglund, 58 seconds down. It's not a huge time loss, but it's 37th on a medium mountain stage, and he's got a good 79 medium mountain rating, so not a great day for him. But Ben O'Connor was not there, nor was Skjelmoza, so we actually find a way to move up significantly. Bad day, yet good result. Okay, Van Wilder leads from Walter, about a half minute separating them. Balderstone, 2 minutes down, and then a big jump to Sevikov at 4 minutes down. He's had multiple bad days lately, yet he finds himself back up into 4th place, and Haglund in the top 5. nearly 2 minutes ahead of Scalmoza, who had a terrible day, losing a ton of time. I mean, he was, what, 3.5 down or something? He lost about 4 minutes where we lost one. And Almeida is too far down. Moss is too far down. So suddenly, from a battle for 6, 7, 8 that cut down to a battle for 6, 7, suddenly we find ourselves in 5th place in territory we didn't expect. Pretty big gap either side, about 2 minutes separating up or down, and the big gaps beyond that. So we can maybe still shift one spot up or down. Haglund's support very, very limited for this final mountain stage. Stage 20, lots and lots of climbs and a big, big finishing one. We don't have the support for Haglund. He's probably done better than I could do, or it would be a very similar outcome at least, because the team support is just a barren wasteland at this stage. A lot of the guys have really fallen off now in the final couple stages as the fatigue sets in. 3 breakaway riders hang on for a healthy advantage. So we start actually at 6.5. Haglund, nearly 2 minutes lost to the race leader, but it's the race leader, right? We're not too worried about losing time there. It's to other guys. Basiao, a little over a minute. Almeida, we lost almost a minute to. Moss, we lost about 45 seconds. O'Connor gains back 45 seconds. That would have been a big deal if not for his disaster of a stage 19. There's Balderstone. And we're looking good because, yeah, there's no sign right now of Sivikov. Sivikov loses 3 minutes. 3 minutes lost for Sivikov. Scalmoza also losing 3 minutes. So Haglund moves up again. And just like the tour, even without any bonuses, we now find ourselves in 4th place overall, heading to the final stage. Might not have an easy time trying to hang on to it, though, as it will be a time trial for the final stage. We'll play that one live to see if Haglund can hang on to his 4th place. Now, 3.5 minutes down on Walter. Walter, who had the lead for so long, is now down to 3rd place. Balderstone slowly climbed his way. He's been in the top 5 pretty much all race long. Is now 2nd overall, but Van Wilder has a comfortable 3 minutes. 57 seconds between us and Sivikov, and that is absolutely something that can exchange places in that final stage. 75 time trial for Sivikov, 74 for Haglund. It could be close. Race day condition could really matter. Sivikov has had, 4 bad stages out of 5? Well, out of about 7. I mean, there was a flat stage, punchy stage. Anyway, he seems to be struggling. So if he's struggling and if he's got a bad race day condition, I certainly give us a decent chance to hang on. Almeida is way too far down. He could gain time on us. I don't see him gaining 4.5 minutes. Maybe not. Maybe not. It could be possible that he could overcome that type of gap. Scalmoza drops to 7th. Kus up to 8th. Very close group here. A lot of time between Almeida and Yates, with 2 minutes or less separating that entire bunch. Those 6 could really swap places quite a bit. Other competitions will be wrapped up at this stage, though, so we won't look back at him. Scalmoza 25 ahead, with Shaw taking 8th in the points. Mountain Prodholm wins that one. Cepeda jumping. Wow, up 32 spots. So, I mean, did he have anything? Up 32 from, what was it? From about 34th. He had 7 or 8 points. Maybe 9. 7 to 9 points for Cepeda. Now 51. That was a big stage. There was a lot of points out there. Derek G, though, would not have been able to win those climbs, for one thing. And he was our only guy with points. So no hope for us to go out and claim that KOM on that final shot. But big time points brought in. Haglund, 12 minutes ahead of Winter. Yeah, we've got the under 25s wrapped up. And we moved up a spot in the team classification to 18th on the stage that Haglund won. G is setting off here on this final stage, our penultimate rider, And we'll get him out the box and then ease off. There's a little bit of a climb here to open, so push a little harder through there. And then we settle in at an 84. Great race day condition for him. It's a +4. He's actually the first one with a positive race day condition of any rider that's gone for us. 22.7 kilometers. Definitely not flat, but it's mild. Very mild, we'll say, on the undulation. That little climb at the beginning, and then there's a decent little climb on the second sector, but very much a time trialist kind of day. Very much a who's got energy still type day. So, G, one of those who does. Lind, at the time of his ride, and he was the only decent time trialist before Derek G, to set out for us today. Lind was comfortably in the top 10 at the time, but many others have come along that were, bigger, better, stronger than him now as we go into this second climb, and we're going to push G that little bit harder through this sector. Try to make up the time. Through the first sector, just half a minute down, 23rd overall. And looking at the time gaps, looking at the top 20, there's a minute 18 from first to 20th. Easily you could have a 1 minute gap. So we are not safe. Very much not safe. And as we go over the top there, we'll lock back in on an 85 for now. Should be a pretty decent time here for Derek G. And it is 22nd. 58 seconds, so right about a minute. He'll be just outside of the top 20 from the looks of things. And we're going to go back into rolling that 86. We're catching up on the rider ahead of us. Haglund still has quite a while to go. There's a lot of riders still to come out and finish their race. Old 99, 22nd. Minute 21 down. So he keeps right in that zone of just inside that top 25. He won't stay there. He'll be long gone from it by the time Haglund comes through, but it's definitely a better time than what Lind was able to do. A good minute better with a very similar rating, but the climbing part, G had a bit of a bonus there. The stamina part, G had a bit of a bonus there compared to Lind, and it showed in the result. Now, Haglund's going to have a big bonus on the climbing side, but what about that time trial? What about that rating? Definitely getting closer, but not yet to the start time for Haglund. He'll be setting off soon enough, but I'm curious about kind of where the rest of the field is. Steinhauser, 22nd overall, 11th on the stages so far. Rafferty's looking like an okay time. Now we're back into in between first and second sector guys with Haglund. Again, going to set off soon. We're into that top 20. Lopez is 17th. He's not looking good. Conchi's not looking too good. Harper in between the two sectors. He's 39th, half minute down. Bernal, his time trialing looking real poor. Ciccone. Vinter, 38 seconds down. There is Adam Yates. He's looking pretty good. First sector, just 10 seconds down. 10th overall. He's 11th in the standings. He's the first one we really see kind of push and go for it and probably have some sort of positive race day condition, because a 72 time trial should not be putting in that sort of time. Haglund getting ready to set off. There is O'Connor down to 10th. He's 20 seconds down in 25th. We'll make our way back to Haglund this way, just checking in on guys. Be far enough to see how Moss is doing. 7th, 9 seconds down. Moss looking pretty good. Koos, time trialing wise. Skill Moza is very good time trialing wise. He's one who could be threatening at 12:15, and Almeida at 11:59. Those guys are ones that could be competing for the overall, but they just are out of it. Sevikov, 75 on the time trial. We don't know what his race day condition is right now, but he's got a ridiculous mountain rating. He's got a very good stamina rating. He's going to be tough to beat as Haglund's ready to set out on, is that a 0 or a 1 for that race day condition? He's got time trialing +1. It's a 75 today, so stamina right there and we're, a point or two behind in the mountain. So should be a pretty similar time. Hagelin, it's a +1. +1. He sets off at an 86. Push on to the top of the hill here. G down to 35th at this stage, so he's dropped about 12 positions in the 30 or so riders that have gone. 89th, 49 seconds down for Hagelin, but we're going to be pushing much harder the rest of the way after we flatten out here, and we should see that position and time improve significantly up to an 86 as we go to climb. Let's check in. Sivikov, 10 seconds. He's got 39 seconds on us, and we only had 57 to spare. That's just in the first sector. But we should see a better time in this second sector for sure. Okay, 85 now for Hagelin. Definitely should have made up some time on that climb. Let's check in on Sivikov. Sivikov is just 20 seconds down. How in the world is he doing that? We're a minute 34 down. We're a minute 14 behind. We are down to 5th place. We are down to 5th place overall. The race day condition for Sivikov is much better than us. He was 11th, just 30 seconds down. And we had a, 57 seconds gap. So we have to be a minute 23 or better, and Hagelin comes up on 1K to go. I don't see him gaining that sort of time, 600 meters. He's going to run out of energy at the line. 2:12 down, 81st. That's 1 second worse than Lind. Stamina similar. Time trial rating was actually worse. It was the climb where he had a better rating than Lind, and that closed him back down. Lind had like a 76 or 77 today. She had a 78. Hagelin just didn't get a great race day condition. He got what he got. He's going to finish 5th overall. Blom hangs on for the win, by the way. Van Wilder took 2nd on the stage. He was definitely feeling it. +5s for him, you would think. Almeida was in the top 10. Van Wilder takes the overall. Valter, Balderstone, Sivikov does pass Hagelin, comfortably passes him. Almost 45 seconds. Almeida 6th. Skelmoza, Koos, Moss, O'Connor all the way down to 10th from being 9 seconds behind Hagelin. We went the right direction in those final stages as we moved up and we had riders breathing down our neck. It did not look like a top 5 was possible. Definitely didn't look like a top 4 was possible either. At the end, though, we certainly would have hoped to have hung on to that 4th place, but the race day condition was there for one rider and not for the other. We used every ounce of energy he had. There's nothing more we could have done other than maybe a few seconds here or there. So, top 5. Top 5 is the result. It's a good one. With all the big race day condition bonuses, obviously we could have held on to 4th at the Tour de France. So it could have been back-to-back top 5s for Hagelin in Grand Tours. Definitely a good result. We're going to miss him. Really going to miss him. But without any significant team support, the under-25s jersey that he has won right here is really all he's capable of. And in the 2 tours, he only won 1 stage. And eked that one out late in this. +2. A +2 race day condition was the best he ever had. And it was enough, just barely. But big climbing stages, it was hard to do much. We didn't play too many of those in person, but without sport, I don't think we would have done any better than the AI would have done in those circumstances. Normally you could do a lot better, but that's with a stacked team supporting them. That's where you tend to get better results out of them. Without, on the difficulty level, very, 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 very unlikely. But that's going to be good team points. It's a good result for Hagelin, and I think most important of all is we did manage to get 1 snowball out of this Vuelta without a stacked deck. And we only got 1 at Giro with a stacked deck. We only got 2 at the Tour with a very stacked deck. So to get 1 here is an excellent consolation prize, and actually I think the top 5 is an even better consolation prize. It sucks that we just miss out on 4th, but nice big healthy gap behind us. One of only just 4 riders behind Van Wilder that managed to finish within 10 minutes of his time. And when you throw in the under 25s, definitely a good result. And we did hang on to 18th in the team classification, which definitely shows just how weak this team was climbing wise, that we were nearly 5 hours down. That's going to do it for this episode and this Grand Tour. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.